don't want Key to pick up his incredibly dominant champion, which we've already seen in the first set that ESC played this season, which was pretty great. He had some excellent games. Trundle also going to be banned, so we're actually seeing the same bans, even though the teams have switched sides.
Yeah, Varus comes in as well.
Varus this time banned by the Tigers.
Yep, same bans though, just different sides. Oh, never mind. It is slightly different. There's the Azir ban. So
I don't know why you would ban Azir against Kuro. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Maybe ESC is just, the coaches are like, okay, we have to ban the Azir so Tempt doesn't play it anymore. You can't ask for it in the draft.
I think maybe that's the real reason, because, I mean, like I mentioned, I was talking to Gorilla before the match today, and he's like, yeah, Kuro can't play Azir.
Everybody knows that. It's not some hidden piece of information.
Exactly. So I don't know, either it's poor planning by the ESC side, or they really don't want to let Tempt talk about Azir, I guess.
Will
Lucian.
be a Nidalee first pick. No jungle bans. Kindred will be up for Bless.
They gave Peanut Nidalee though, and so this could easily spiral out of control into another pick comp from
You just
Tigers,
never want to give Peanut Nidalee. That's just such a bad plan. And to ban Azir and then give up the Nidalee seems like insanity to me from ESC. Maybe they have a very special plan.
It's better be a very special plan.
Did you know that ESC has a very special plan for this draft, Doa?
Someone knocked on my door once and told me that. Yeah, they gave me a pamphlet that said ESC crazy. It's going to be Swain and Ashe locked in. So ESC will take the Ashe away, but again, you know, LokeN's such a great Ashe player that it's not really so much of a takeaway. And the Swain has been used before.
Prey looks disgusted with this draft.
It's like, I wanted to play the Ashe so bad. It's okay, Prey, you can still play Ezreal.
He looks disgusted and slightly bored.
Well, I hope that's not the result of people playing against ESC for the rest of the season. Now, the Maokai went all the way through picks and bans.
They're going to select the Maokai even though the Echo is available.
Yeah, and they're not going to take the Amumu. They've already got the Nidalee, you would think.
The Maokai is useful for immediately CCing the Swain before he can get in range of actually using his ultimate, and it will be back to the old Kuro special in the Viktor.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Tigers are really just putting together a ridiculously strong composition. I mean, Nidalee, Viktor, Maokai, and if they add, like, you know, Ezreal Braum onto this, or, you know, Ezreal anything, really.
Well, this is just the champion you don't give to Kuro.
Yep.
Kuro is his most played champion of all time. He is 24-5 professionally on Viktor. So if you'd like to take a gamble against an 82% win rate, I guess you do that. And it will be the Kindred and the Fizz. Now, we don't know which way these champions are going to be going. Previously, you could still play a tank Fizz in the top lane. If you want to go for the Swain in the mid lane instead, probably going to be that mid lane Fizz in the top lane Swain, but certainly still a bit of flexibility there.
So, what's it going to be? Probably not that Blitzcrank. I mean, we've seen one this season, but that's probably the only one we're going to get.
I just don't get this as your ban. It is Kuro's 6th most played champion of all time, but he has 5-12 on it. 5-12. So, and that champion was released after, I believe, the Tigers were formed. So, all of those 5-12 would have been on the Rox Tigers, which means that he has a 29% win rate on that champion, but as a team, the Rox Tigers have a 66% win rate.
Yeah.
No, wait, 69% win rate. So basically, this is the champion that causes the Rox Tigers to lose an inordinate amount of games.
All right. Time to make things exciting. Spice it up a bit, you know?
Well, they probably will do that. And will it be the Taric again for Key, going for just so much tankiness, invulnerability from the Taric, invulnerability from the Kindred, and of course that Swain, which gets a ridiculous amount of healing. He is very strong as a champion right now. Ever since they changed his ultimate to give him flat healing. That way it isn't reduced by the magic resist of tanks, which means that he can sustain in the front line no matter how much magic resist there is. That's the big change that kind of broke him, I think.
Yeah. So it will be the Taric locked in for key in the end.
Well, great tower diving composition here for ESC. It's like it will be the Fizz. They have a very strong 1-3-1 split push also.
I feel like the Tigers are going to be doing a lot of sieging and disengaging this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is basically just a 5-man stage composition from the Rox Tigers. As long as they manage their side waves well, they certainly have a lot of wave clear, especially once the Caitlyn gets that Hurricane. So they should be able to deal with this from the perspective of simply setting up with a turret, sieging. They've got a lot of disengage. And ESC, if that arrow misses, they don't really have a great way to engage any longer. Of course, the Fizz ultimate, the fish, can provide enough of a slow to effectively engage, but they are very reliant on hitting that Ashe arrow if they want to ever fight in this game, because otherwise the kiting is just too great, considering there's a Braum ultimate available, Caitlyn traps, Gravity Well, Maokai. Very unlikely that Ever is going to be able to get into the back lines, and guess what? Swain teleport flanks are not very scary.
Not so much. We'll see if Ever can put, or I'm sorry, if ESC can put together anything to try to tie this series up. I mean, I like what they're going for. You know, I like that they're trying to be aggressive, get in there and team fight. They're doing what they're best at, you know? So at least they're giving themselves that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely they are, but I think this is a long shot, and they actually switched, so it will be crazy on the Fizz in the top lane and the Swain in the mid lane against the Viktor.
Yeah, all right. Well, same thing applies. ESC fight for their life. Let's see if they can tie it up against the Tigers. Time to get into game 2. All right, it's a Cloud Drake. That's our first dragon of the game. Hooray. Tigers versus ESC. ESC getting beaten down pretty hard in game number 1.
By the way, that icon looks nothing like a cloud.
Well, it depends. I mean, you know, clouds come in many different shapes and sizes, Monty.
That doesn't look like a cloud, though.
Well, there are some clouds. You know, if
that look like a fan?
Yeah, sure, man. I mean, if they're kind of like blown by the wind a particular way, they end up looking like waves of water. Although that would get I'm serious.
So,
I can't remember the scientific name for it.
So what you're saying is good design means that because clouds can look like waves of water, you should design the Cloud Drake logo to look like a wave of water.
Oh, I'm not saying
which isn't to be
I'm not saying it's good
with
design.
an ocean drake at all.
No, I'm not saying it's good design. I agree with you there. I'm just saying that there are clouds that look like that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my only point that I'm making.
Very, very relevant.
We're both right. That's the important thing. Looks like it's going to be lane swap again, but this time called by ESC.
That's a Tempt right there. Tempt fighting.
Well, Tempt needs all the support he can get. That game 1 was pretty rough for him.
So we are actually going to see both dual lanes heading into the top side and taking the Krugs and the Braum.
Yep. Dazzle. No. Doesn't connect. Good shot, headshot onto LokeN.
Just right in the dome, duh.
Yep, that's right. Right in the head with the shot. It'll be interesting to see how Frey handles this Caitlyn now. It's been a while since we've seen him play that champion. For good reason.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this top lane Fizz, too. Last year, we saw a lot of Fizz as a counterpick into Maokai, but of course with substantial Fizz changes since then, it hasn't had that same effectiveness, especially when you have to build tank these days. Now, it is going to give them better engage options because you can throw out the fish as a CC tool and then follow it up with an Iceborne Gauntlet proc, which will assist and give them something else, some other form of CC to start fights besides an Ashe arrow. So I do like that aspect of it. And I do think that Swain is very strong right now in the right composition. You have to really make sure that Swain, your team comp has enough crowd control to get Swain into the middle of everything, because he doesn't have any kind of movement abilities to take himself. And when he's going to be taking teleport here as a split pusher, that's a concern. But realistically, ESC shouldn't be looking to actually try and
oh boy. Oh, Smeb has to flash out.
Yeah, take a lot of caster minion shots right there.
Yeah, Crazy getting the upper hand in that duel. Now Bless coming down. I don't think they'll be able to find an angle to take out Smeb. No, Bless just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, there was a sapling in the tri-brush, so Smeb, oh god, he can get flashed on top of so easily.
Yes, he can. Peanut is there too, though.
Oh.
Maybe able to nail Crazy. There we go. Bless on top of Smeb. Peanut looking for a spear on the Crazy. Lands it. Oh, the flash! I thought he hit him. I thought he was going to hit him. It was like a pixel away. What a flash from Crazy at the end there. Meanwhile, Bless does pick up the first blood onto Smeb.
Yeah, they were not anticipating that Bless would be so patient there in that second brush, but great play from Bless. Go ahead and flash for that one. Definitely worthwhile.
Yeah.
They do trade a couple of flashes for just that one from Smeb earlier on, so there is a level of price to be paid right there, but nice for Bless to pick up an early kill, that's for sure. Smeb now using that TP to get back into lane with a Doran's ring, so itemizing up for the early game here, and Dark Seal for the Fizz.
Makes sense. Some damage on there early on.
Yeah, also, yeah, just for the extra sustain too out of the corrupting potion, does give you nice opportunities. So ESC here should be just setting up to get Crazy and Tempt aheads, because no one is really going to be able to 1v1 either of those champions from the Rox perspective, especially since that Viktor doesn't have teleport this game. And Rox needs to start forcing fights around either turrets, sieging up with the large amount of wave clear and range that they have, or fighting around the Drakes or the Barons.
Yeah.
But ESC going to be playing a skirmish-heavy game right here, and a tower diving game, because they have so much invulnerability or sustain when it comes to the Swain and the Taric and the Kindred. So Rock's going to have to be on top of their wave clear and make sure that there aren't a lot of situations where ESC can get those dives off for free, because post 6, that becomes a real big danger. You are on the Tigers.
Definitely does. But we'll see how well the Tigers can siege here. Brain Gorilla obviously doing well in this top lane.
Man, the tracker's knife on Peanut's Nidalee. I am not used to seeing this.
It's bizarre, man. It's like he's going to actually go ward and
Peanut's
get
change.
vision. I don't know if I like this change. I want the old Peanut back, man. The old Peanut would have gotten
battle
like,
ward.
Yeah, he would have gotten like 3 ganks already. I want that Peanut.
He would have gotten the Skirmisher Saber and then 1v1 the enemy jungler.
Yeah, that too.
Not that that's really possible in the Nidalee and Kindred matchup. Not that I'm saying it is, but it is a weird shift where Peanut definitely has been that Skirmisher's Saber first jungler, even on
Beatrice,
champions like Nidalee. Beatrice is white
today
in this on this skin.
You're right.
Not really a raven anymore.
Is she like a pigeon or an owl? Or?
I think she's an owl. Or she's the bird equivalent of Michael Jackson. Either way.
Could be. Never know. If his ult coming in on the Smeb. Peanut is there, though. The bait was unsuccessful. Oh. I didn't know that Swain's bird's name was Beatrice.
You didn't?
Until recently.
How did you learn that, Noah?
I read the lore.
I'm so
no,
sorry.
actually, I read the ability descriptions. Which is pretty much the lore now.
Is that it?
Yeah, his bird, he sends her out to attack. He's like, go, Beatrice. Zap my foes with your crazy lasers.
I like that Beatrice has a laser.
He doesn't like a laser bird. Tempt caught up by the gravity lapse. Well, gravity well? Gravity something.
Gravity lapse.
There's way too many different ability names in way too many different games right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Screw remembering things. We'll just call it Laser Bird,
Yeah.
Stun zone.
Stun zone.
Stun circle. There we go. We'll just describe abilities.
I don't know why I forgot that right now. It's like memory lapse. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, that blue buff is going to run out of patience and reset before they have an opportunity to go for it. Peanut instead. Oh! No, they're not going to make another attempt here.
I think that'd be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, Peanut sees the blue buff returning and will go ahead for the Wolves.
Gravity field, obviously. Now I remember.
Indeed.
The important part is gravity. And how apparently it just keeps you in place. I don't know how gravity does this exactly. Maybe it just makes you really heavy for a second.
Gravitons, that's how it does it.
I guess.
Viktor has the power of gravitons.
Right. Makes them surge all the time. Well, it's a 1v1 up in the top lane for the moment anyway. Beatrice, Laser Bird.
Vomits out lasers. It seems like if I had a bird, I'd be pretty concerned if they were vomiting lasers.
And it's the ability is called Decrepify.
I don't, like, Swain's ability names don't make any sense. Don't think about it.
I don't know if that's like the bird makes those minions less of Crepo from EU.
Decrepify.
Decrepifies them. Chaos Storm dropped onto Tempt, gets caught with the gravity field again. Tempt trying to get away, still has the flash though. Oh, but he does not use it and dies. All right, Kuro wins 1v1. I think Tempt trying to buy some time until his teammates got there, but
they
did not get there.
There were two aspects of that duel, one of which was a communication issue between Tempt and Bless as to when he was going to get there and perhaps be able to put down a Kindred ultimate, as Peanut is just going to solo the first Drake right now. The second aspect of that is that you really have to not underestimate the Chaos Storm anymore. Part of the mage rework from Viktor is that it ticks less frequently. It only ticks once every 2 seconds, but the damage is significantly higher when you stay in it after those 2 seconds. When it does tick, it hurts, it bursts harder. And that combined with the death ray right there means that if you are not used to playing around the changes to Viktor, you can get surprised by the burst that the Chaos Storm does because the damage is higher but less consistent than it was previously.
Yep, Tempt certainly not figuring that one out until it was too late.
He was tempted by his jungler.
He's the one who's supposed to be the one tempting, though.
He was very tempting. That's why Kuro went for that all-in.
Right, but that's not the type of tempting he wanted to be.
He wants to be
he wants
to be a tease. He's just a tease, Della. But that
time,
tease. That time the temptation was fulfilled, actually, and Kuro got what he was tempted for.
Kuro's like, well, I guess I am tempted to kill you. All right.
Wow, that's really interesting that Beatrice sort of just explodes and goes back to his shoulder right there.
I know.
A puff of feathers.
Who doesn't want an exploding shoulder bird, though?
Exploding shoulder bird that vomits lasers?
Yeah, dude. No, it doesn't. It's not lasers.
I like a Beatrice is like
you.
shaking her head like it's a very powerful
I talked
vomit.
about that the other day, too. Yeah, her like head kind of shakes back and forth. It does not look comfortable. Why does Swain keep doing that to poor Beatrice? You need to...
It's actually disgusting.
You need to get PETA in here, man. A lot of animals being abused.
Some powerful laser vomit coming out.
Yeah, seriously. Meanwhile, Smeb has managed to get a bit of a CS lead over Crazy in the bot lane. So he's got that going for him. But here comes Bless.
Well, they have to play around this. They need to start diving.
Yeah, and they are. Smeb taking a lot of damage from Bless early on. Here comes Crazy, but the minion wave not cooperating, so that was awkward. Uh-oh, Kuro might be able to catch this Kindred. Chaos Storm dropped. Bless waiting for that Lamb's Respite. Oh, and the Chaos Storm doesn't quite get there.
Well, Bless is going to cast that Lamb's Respite anyway if necessary. But the dive has been stuffed, and that's the most important thing. ESC not coordinating very well. They showed their jungler on that bottom side and got some damage onto Smeb, but without the minion wave there just wasn't the follow-up, and that gave Kuro all the time he needed to respond, and as Kuro does, one of his strongest points as a player is that he reacts extremely quickly to the pressure on the side lanes and frequently gets there before his mid lane opponent, and we saw it again right there. Just makes a beeline into the bottom side of the map to help out, and that ends up saving Smeb.
Yeah. Peanut goes for a blue buff steal. That doesn't work out. Bless coming down with a bit of his own damage. And this game, though, much more even than the last game was. And at what point do the Tigers really need to kind of start putting on the siege pressure?
They don't. They don't have to do it anytime soon.
Yeah. Aren't they worried about that Swain in the late game?
No, they've got an extremely good late game composition compared to what ESC has in terms of damage output. A 3-4 item Caitlyn with the kind of front line that Braum and Maokai are going to be able to provide is absolutely enormous. So they can play patiently right now. The question is, what is ESC going to do? Because they have to start making these dives work.
Oh. Spear nearly connects. Peanut knew he was in there, but he didn't know exactly where.
Now, also, they have to really... ESC has to be concerned about setting this Ashe up in the mid lane and see the BF sword working into that Hurricane, which will give her the damage as well as the wave clear that she needs, but it's a matter of getting Tempt into a side lane and starting to really apply split push pressure at this stage.
Right.
But they are gated at the moment by itemization.
Makes sense. You know what I love about Swain? Is that he's a dude with a bird that turns into a bird that shoots birds. Not many champions can say that.
His concept is so silly.
But he's a military general too, so he's a very strategic birdman.
Who turns into a bird that shoots birds.
A bird-owning birdman who shoots birds. Yep.
I like how the birds erupt from his body too, like he's some sort of pinata that contains a bunch of birds.
He is. That's right. It's just a big bird pinata.
I think Crow Pinata is another great name for one of your bands.
That is. That is a great name. More like Mistalin Crystal Arrow, or no, Mistalin. I messed it up. He missed his ult. That's what I'm trying to say.
So close.
Mistalin Arrow. Oh.
Great joke, Noah.
Thanks, man. Dazzle. Nope. Dazzle does not connect. No, but the headshot does. Key has to step on the trap and get back to lane.
It's right in the dome.
That's where you put it. Stop laughing at me.
I'm going to troll you with that, Trevor.
No.
You've given me the most foolish thing you can, Noah. Ammunition.
I'm surprised it's taken that long. Really.
Peanut back on his solo draking ways.
Yeah, going for the second Cloud Drake. So they're going to be moving pretty quick, and Caitlyn could use that.
Well,
it helps you reposition.
Yeah, it may be the worst Drake, but when you're trying to escape picks or turret dives, like the ones that ESC desperately needs to start performing if they want to win this game, then having that extra move speed can get you out of danger. And also, ESC's composition is incredibly kiteable. They already have certain initiation problems.
I mean, Swain still has that issue that other champions like Volibear has, where you basically just have to run at them. And it's really hard to just run at people in League of Legends.
Yes, it is.
Just ask Sin or, yeah, Volibear. You name it. Oh, wow. LokeN. Taking some damage. Yep, there's Ace in the hole. Blocked by Key. Here comes Peanut, though.
He's just here to push the turret.
Yeah, but he could also hit people with spears. I'm sure he wants to do that as well.
He should just be autoing the turret, though.
Oh, no. He wants to... Yeah, see?
Here he comes.
Was close.
Auto the turret.
Yeah, well, he threw a spear first. So will be the first turret of the game for the Tigers. At 17 minutes, so a little bit slower pace game, but things are going well for the Tigers.
Yes. LokeN also has his Hurricane done now. He needs to move into the mid lane. This is getting really silly Tempt, they have to reorganize their lane assignments because the only way they're going to win this game is by a 1-3-1 split push and abusing their double teleports. But there's no reason for LokeN right now to be anywhere else besides clearing the mid lane wave with this itemization. It's just like Tempt needs to recall, LokeN needs to go into the mid lane, and they have to get Tempt into top side.
That looks like it's going to be an Ocean Drake next. Here we go, Gorilla coming in, Bless flashing away immediately, Tempt coming down to try to help out his jungler, but seems to be a bit too late. Braum ultimate goes, actually Bless survives because of the Lancer Spite. Not for too long though. Kuro picks up the kill there. Kuro trying to escape, now exhausted. Peanut in Gorilla, low as well. Prey is there though on that Caitlyn, doing a ton of damage to Tempt. Tempt though, he has his own birds to throw out.
That was a really awkward teleport from Smeb out of the bottom lane to try and get into that fight immediately, but he ended up canceling it and then walking it up towards the river.
I don't know, man.
Not the cleanest fight there, and we do see the Rox Tigers blowing a lot of summoner spells to escape.
Yep. They still managed to do a lot of damage to that bottom turret, though. So it does end up being a win for them in the end, even if it was a little bit awkward.
Yeah, Kuro also has to just jet into the mid lane right now after recalling, and there's the ace in the hole onto Key, just front-loading that for a little bit of chunk.
Oh, Fizz all
Nice
blocked by
catch.
Gorilla. Yeah, Gorilla dives in there and takes it. That is a great support play right there. Dazzle doesn't connect, and that means they're probably going to be able to get this turret. A few more minions. Another wave should do it. Here comes Bless, though. He's back, and Prey is still missing a bit of health. Preventing Crazy from recalling. Smeb finds Bless in the jungle. Prey goes in. They want this one. Bless wants Prey, but I don't think that's a good idea. Another kill for this Caitlyn.
Well, that was a freebie.
Yeah, no kidding. Here comes Kuro, seen by the ward.
That was a freebie because they knew Bless didn't have ult or flash, and he's trying for some crazy flank play. They have the vision, and they just instantly collapse on him to take him out. And that's also going to help them get that turret, so Rox just staying together like a pile of rocks.
Solid like rocks.
That's right, solid like rocks.
Not a rock, but rocks. Not anymore, though. Now they're just tiger. Solid like a tiger.
Tigers are pretty solid.
Yeah, not bad. I've never seen a really out-of-shape tiger before. I'm sure they exist, but I've not seen them.
Hashtag fat tiger.
If that isn't a craft beer name, I don't know what is. Oh, Tempt goes bird mode. Takes some damage, but he does manage to clear the wave. That's the important thing.
I really wish Tempt would go into a side lane. This is just silly. They can't.
He's got teleport.
They can't defend against what Rox are doing in this fashion. They have to
Yeah.
put pressure on some other part of the map to counteract this. Because if they're just going to play a 5 versus 5 mid lane, they're going to get destroyed.
Pretty much. That's what they want to do, though. I mean, it just seems like ESC doesn't know what to do. Arrow goes through onto Kuro. Another great block from Gorilla, but Tempt flashing in with that Swain. Peanut gets hit by the Fizz ultimate. Kills on both sides. A lot of kills coming in. 2 for each. Actually, a little bit better for ESC in the
3
end.
versus 1.
Yeah.
And Smeb wasn't there, didn't actually come into that fight, and that's what they have to do. We talked about this coming in. If ESC wants to engage, it's incredibly important that that Ashe arrow hits. Tempt had his flash available still and managed to get the follow-up route, so they make it work. I am surprised, but they make it work.
Yeah. The thing is that they can't make it work very often. They really need that flash to be up on Tempt Swain to be able to make it.
They also need
like
a
that.
5 versus 4, which is what they had. Maokai was late here. The rest of the Tigers were pushing up without 5 members, so Tempt manages to get that very good engage off the back of LokeN's arrow. And the Tigers there, they don't have everybody. They were trying to push back the wave in the top side, and they pushed too far forward without having all 5 people. If Maokai's there, there's really not a chance that play is going to be able to work again.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of Smeb Maokai. I'd rather see him play something a bit more carry-oriented, of course.
Well, he does the job. I don't think he's, say, as good as someday on Maokai, but...
Still a lead in the end for the Tigers. They just do need to be a little bit more careful. Ocean Drake is up. ESC has not been able to grab one yet, but it's only been those two those two Cloud Drakes, so that's been the biggest deal. Bless finds Peanut. Tempt is right there as well. Has to flash over that Never move. Meanwhile, Gorilla comes back in. Flash trying to get the stun on the Bless. Build those stacks. Teleport coming in now for Crazy. First kill comes in. Bray picks that one up. They're going to turn around right onto Crazy on that Fizz. Kuro gets ulted, but it doesn't matter. Crazy pushed off of his own Lambs for a spite. Spear misses though, but ace in the hole. Blocked by Key. Crazy will get out. It's going to mean another Dragon for the Tigers.
Go right in onto the Ocean Drake, pick it up very easily. They can transition this straight into the mid lane, no problem.
It's a great Drake for the Tigers too, because it gives them that sustain when they're sieging, so that's an important one.
Well, ESC is just incredibly split up right here. They don't actually have 5 people, have to teleport in late, and Swain gets focused down and killed particularly quickly. Bray gets away, doesn't actually take too much damage from that Fizz ultimate that's down onto Kuro, and everyone else easily chunked out. They have to body block the ace in the hole, and there's no way for them to contest the Drake afterwards.
Tigers get an easy Baron now. ESC
they didn't even take
out.
the mid lane turret, they just went straight to Baron at 23 minutes.
Yep, well I think they know that'll help him take a lot more turrets. Crazy's still looking for a play. Wow, he's gonna go in. He has no ult right now. That's brave. Gets hit with the Arcane Smash, gets killed. Gorilla backing off with a bit of health left. Key kind of on his own in a 1v5. He's gonna flash. Now the Chaos Storm drop. Tempt comes in with Bless. Bless has to immediately leave the fight, and Tempt sustaining as much as he can, but the bird is not the word in this fight, and Rox Tigers get the near ace. Only Bless barely limping out of that one with Key.
And now that 3 members of ESC have died, they're just able to push up that mid lane and take many turrets without even having to recall after that Baron.
Yeah.
Only Peanut meeting his end at that fight, and you can tell there is a bit of desperation here from the likes of ESC after that Baron goes down, because this is now going to be an absolutely enormous Baron power play from the Tigers. They don't have time to go for the inhibitor on this wave, but they take down 3 turrets without even having to recall.
It's a good start anyway. Let's watch that fight. I mean, it was just this re-engage from Crazy that brought everybody from ESC in. And
I mean, it was
I don't know.
5 versus 3 to start this fight off
with. Not a great idea.
Yeah, he does get the dazzle on the Bray, but there's just no follow-up to it. Bless finishes off Peanut, but with Tempt locked up right there by the gravity well, they can focus him down extremely quickly. And
excuse me, Gravity Field.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Whatever.
Way to memorize ability names, Monte Cristo. Jeez.
I'm not Quickshot, man. I can't keep them all in my head.
There are a few who can.
Quickshot is the chosen one.
I think so.
The master of ability names.
He's got the most ability name midi-chlorians or something. Ugh. I like shuddered saying that word. Midi-chlorians. Ugh. Well, the Tigers still in a good spot to keep pushing this. They can try for this inhibitor now as everybody gathers back up in the mid lane.
Caitlyn's at 3 items, so basically is an absolute teamfight monster.
Yep. And they basically just control the entire map at this point. Oh. Spear, dodge, Beatrice, calm yourself. Looks like they're just going to go for the easiest objective to take right now, which is that tier 2 in bottom lane. No opposition at all from ESC. And the Tigers can just extend that lead, and they don't need to take the inhibitor right now. They can just take these inhibitor turrets.
Yeah, just break the base.
Yeah, just come back later if they happen to get pushed away, even though that seems unlikely. Gonna need a big engage. Flash is up for Tempt. He could go in. He's thinking about it. Seemed like he was almost ready to pull the trigger there. They got the ult. They've got the ults ready, rather. That turret's getting lower. I mean, if it's not now, when is it?
Peanut has no mana, but
he's got the Ocean Drake, though.
He does have the Ocean Drake, so can back off.
Yep, we'll get some back. Ooh, it's crazy. They're going to go in. There's a kill already on the turret from Caitlyn. Drill has to back off after getting engaged. Smeb making a big presence in that back line on the Maokai, and now all the damage coming in from Kuro, and that's going to be an easy kill. Ace in the hole for Prey to finish off Key. Crazy makes it back to the base, and you got to think that's probably going to be the end of that series right here.
Really hard to tell what was going on in that team fight due to all the AoE abilities, but Kuro in the midst of that landed an amazing gravity field that just kept Ever committed to that fight far longer than they wanted to. even through all of their invulnerability
Yeah, well,
from the Taric and the Kindred ultimates.
Smeb got in the back lines on that Maokai as well and just disrupted everything. And Rox Tigers have the minion wave now. Not too long before Key and Tempt come back up again. The teleport bringing Smeb back to the fight as they try to end this one. He's back. No ultimate though. Has the stuns, but that's about it. Crazy. Speaking of getting stunned, speaking of getting killed, and they should be able to finish off the Nexus right here as Rox Tigers just kind of seem to pad that KDA a little bit more. Yep, there's Key going down again. Kuro looking for the laser. Tempt in the base. That is it. The Rox Tigers, or I'm sorry, just the Tigers have just enough to end the game. GG, that's a 2-0.
Yeah, incredibly dominant series from the Tigers, 2 sub-30-minute games.
Yep.
And I don't really get ESC's drafts in this series. When they came out swinging and we saw that first 2-0 that they had to start the season, they were playing Sivir Karma and these pick compositions that worked really well for them.
Yeah, they played them well.
Yeah, they like to skirmish early, they like to play picks, so I guess I don't really understand why they're trying these 1-3-1 compositions or kind of these awkward setups. And they didn't really have the lane assignments that game, the shot calling to maximize their advantage. They were very delayed on getting that Ashe to the mid lane and the Swain into a side lane and using a split push, which they could have successfully repulsed, I think, a lot of the Tigers sieging, split the members of the Tigers up so they couldn't commit 5-man to objectives, but they never really got to that point or made the right calls to get there.
Yeah, and a great re-debut for Kuro as well. Was able to play the Viktor, and as you can see, worked out well for him.
He was just great that last game on the Viktor.
Yeah,
picking
as
up
usual.
that nice kill.
I mean, you let Kuro have Viktor, what do you expect?
Yeah. I mean, now he is 25-5 on that champion in his career. His most
Shocking.
played. Yes, shocking.
Yeah. And so, when we come back, we will see our second best of 3 of the night and the MVP interview. Samsung versus MVP right when we get back. So don't go anywhere, guys. Our second match of the night on LCK Summer here on OGN.